a space for investors to use Kenya, not just as a destination for investment as a country, but to use Kenya as a place where you can deliver your investment opportunities beyond Kenya into the African continent. And number three, we are aligning all the opportunities so that you can also tap into our young people with fresh ideas, with creative opportunities, with innovative talent to maybe start one of the largest companies. M-Pesa, if M-Pesa is anything to go by, we have a reservoir of many other young people who can do what M-Pesa has done.
Mr. President, you are a voracious learner. You are someone that values knowledge. You're constantly seeking for knowledge. I'm sure that makes you a reader of books. Where do you have any, give us a little inside scoop to where you get your best sources of information. What's your favorite book or your favorite place to get information? Is it Twitter/X? Where do you like to get your information? How do you stay informed and stay educated?
I forage a lot in many spaces. And I like the fact that even books nowadays are available online. And you can do a lot of reading, let me not say a bit, a lot of reading in that space. And there is a lot of available information. I am, of course, privileged because being president, I have a lot of briefs from many people. And they can be quite messy, you know. There are mountains and mountains of briefs, and you have to really be avid to be able to read. But many people out there have a lot of talent, and I must be grateful that sometimes I look intelligent for no effort that I have made. Many people have made so much effort to put things together for me to read and to understand so that I can push the agenda of the country. So there is a lot of reading to be done online. There is a lot of briefs that I get. There is, of course, the things that I like to read on the side that have nothing to do with all this, and have nothing to do with science, which I read in college. But that's roughly the space.
Soon you'll be able to take those mountains and just plug it into ChatGPT, and they'll just give you a summary. Mr. President, my final question for you is a two-part question. The first part would be, as you look over this audience and they are in your city, your country, what advice do you have for them for their time here? Your favorite restaurants, the things that you don't want them to miss while they are in your hometown. That's part one. Go ahead with that first one.
Oh, that's great. Let me first, I think it was quite bold of people who have not been here before to take the decision. When you asked me to host, for Kenya to host these Kauffman Fellows, and I said yes, I didn't know that it was going to be this big. So congratulations to everybody who've made their way here. And I am very sure that it won't be the last time you're here. I know you have found your home in Kenya. The beauty of this city is that you can get any mall, any restaurant that is as good as anywhere in wherever you've come from. But you also have unique places. I would suggest to you, find time and go to Bomas of Kenya, maybe, if you want to have to have a taste of Kenyan culture. Find time and go to find some favorite Kenyan cuisine at different places, either safari park. You will find the safari carts there, and you will find a lot of meat. And you will be served different cuisines, and it is a wonderful opportunity. You can also go to Carnival. Carnival is just across the other side of the city, next to the national park. You will find some game meat. If you haven't eaten crocodile meat, if you haven't eaten all the other game meat, but they are licensed, so you don't have to worry. So you can sample all that, or you can find some of the coffee shops right in this mall around here. The coffee shops are really good, and don't miss to eat ugali. Ugali is the local staple food. It's made out of corn or maize, for that matter. In fact, for Kenyans, we eat that meat, pounded ugali for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, and from Monday to Monday, and sometimes 365 days, and it never gets boring. So it's something to taste.
Thank you, Mr. President. My final question for you is, this is our 13th Global Summit, and our first Global Summit on the continent of Africa. We chose to come to Kenya as part of our discussions, and we're so grateful for you welcoming us here. As we think about this group and Kauffman Fellows, we care deeply about the human element of technology and innovation. You have made it a big part of your leadership to also focus deeply on humans and on individuals. What advice would you give to this group of global leaders on the future and how you would encourage them to be the best version of themselves as leaders?
As you've said, our philosophy is bottom up. I mean, making every person count, irrespective of their station in life. It's about humanity. And it's about minding about people, whoever they are, whatever their status, whatever they look like. White, yellow, black, whatever. And it is the reason why part of our plan is food stability and food security, to make sure nobody sleeps hungry, whoever they are. Financial inclusion is the reason why we rolled out what we call Hustler Fund. Today, courtesy of technology, Hustler Fund, which is 9 months, 8 months old, has 20 million Kenyans on the platform. 7 million Kenyans borrowing every day. And $300 million of borrowing in the last 8 months. It's about ordinary people borrowing small amounts, but making a big difference. Humanity is what we are speaking to. Whether we are talking about universal health coverage, we want to make it as available as possible. We are hiring community health promoters, 100,000 of them, so that every 100 households have somebody to think about them and their medical needs and health requirements. It's about people. And I want to ask the men and women in this team, even as you do what you're doing, front, center, left, right, is humanity. Ultimately, we must do the things that promote who we are as people. And we must never lose sight of the people. Sometimes they say, I don't know how they put it. They say either you get lost in the forest looking for the trees, or you look for the trees and get lost in the forest. One of the two. So we must never get lost. Even in the midst of all the things that we are doing, we must keep our humanity in focus.
Mr. President, we're very grateful for your welcoming us into your country, for all the hospitality that you and your team have shown us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking His Excellency President William Ruto.
Your Excellency, before exiting the stage, Your Excellency, just with your permission, if you can just have one picture with the CEO and also the leadership. If I may invite Senior Vice President Natasha Funk to join in the picture. PS ICT, John Tenui, if you can also come. PS Investment, Abubakar, and also